welcome back to Lifting the Lamp. I'm Frater Eleftheria, and you know, it's Christmas Eve and I don't want to be editing all day on Christmas Day, so I'm going to keep this one short. I'm going to try and keep it as close to one take as I possibly can, and I just want to focus on looking at the year and reviewing the year for Lifting the Lamp. It's been a pretty incredible year for the channel. The channel has continued to grow in spite of how unhelpful the YouTube algorithm has been at various points. But in spite of that, I've grown, continue to grow, and in spite of the Australian government's social media ban for everybody under 16, I continue to have a growing audience. So I'm very grateful for that. The year started off pretty shaky in terms of the channel and how that was going and whether that was continuing to grow or not, but also in terms of other areas of my life, not least of all because I was in the process of crossing the abyss, so everything was just falling apart. In spite of all of that, things came good and things started to pick up in June as the issue of UAP disclosure grabbed people's attention, and I got swept up in that issue as a result of that ex-post by Matthew Brown. And now, as a result of everything that came as a result of that, more people know who I am, and a lot more people want to hear my opinions on things, particularly on esoteric topics. So that has been quite a significant development for the channel this year, and a necessary one in terms of lifting my profile, lifting the profile of this channel, getting it where it needs to get for the future plans that I have. And things are definitely different now. They've definitely felt different this year. A lot more people just know who I am. So whether that's walking through the streets, every so often somebody will recognize me and introduce themselves. Admittedly, it doesn't happen that much, usually at alternative type venues or events, but it does happen. But a significant number of people in the broader online occult community seem to know who I am now as well. And if I post something, a comment on a Damien Eccles video or something like that, people will say, "Oh, I love your stuff," and just know who I am. So that just goes to show that the channel is successful. It's becoming more successful with every passing day, which is what my goal was. So that's really good. But it's kind of a weird contrast because, among people that are interested in alternative kind of information and the esoteric and things like that, I'm quite well known. But back in the world of the muggles, I'm still a nobody. I'm a nobody in my workplace. I'm a nobody in other environments outside of that alternative space. But it's good because I get to have a secret identity. But this online persona and the person that I am out in the real world will increasingly become one and the same thing as time goes on. So one big thing that happened this year is that I appeared on a whole lot of podcasts and live streams, which was a big development compared to the previous year. So all of the appearances that I was in were Casual Temple, Hermetic Podcast, Polarity, Psycho Activo, Living Life Consciously, Through a Glass Darkly, Invisible Frontiers, the very first live stream of Invisible Frontiers, the Arnett Files, Hermetic Podcast again, the Grimerica Podcast, and the Philosophical Minds Podcast. In addition, I was mentioned in New Dawn magazine twice in 2 separate articles. I have also given 2 presentations, one at the Theosophical Society and another at the absolutely incredible conference EnokiaCon 2025. EnokiaCon was definitely a highlight of the year, and virtually attending that conference, getting to present alongside the likes of Aaron Leach and Justin Sledge, both of whose content/books I greatly admire. My presentation at that conference was very well received, I'm happy to say. And it was very vindicating to be acknowledged by the other presenters at the conference. and some of who are real heavyweights in the world of Enochian magic and the occult more broadly. And it was really affirming for me that, that the work that I had put in my Enochian workings were being acknowledged in such an official way, you might say, as official as it can be in something as fringe as Enochian magic. So yeah, it was a fantastic conference. It's happening again in 2026. I'll be promoting that on my channel, so keep a lookout for that. And if you can make it along, I highly recommend you do so. The other big highlight was, of course, when a government whistleblower who revealed a secret US program to monitor UAP, or unidentified anomalous phenomena, referenced my work, which led to us eventually befriending one another and collaborating and being drawn into this whole UAP disclosure space. It's not something that I had on my bucket list at all. Quite surreal still to know that that's happened. As a result of us drawing attention to each other online, I've been introduced to the disclosure community and met a really fantastic group of people as a result of that. Special thanks to my wife this year, who's been doing a lot of things behind the scenes as Lifting the Lamp has been leveling up. She set up the merch store, came up with a lot of the t-shirt and hoodie designs, and has also been helping with thumbnails for videos as well as socials. So that's been really invaluable for this channel and being able to do more things on Lifting the Lamp than before. I wish I had more free time as an individual than I do, but unfortunately that hasn't been the case. I'm still inside the matrix. I give what time I can, and it's not very much, so all the help that I can get is very valuable. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll have a bit more free time in the coming year to really focus on the things that matter. And I'd of course like to thank all of you, my subscribers, for your ongoing support, whether that's in the form of being a subscriber or a member, or your encouraging comments in the comments sections on my video. I do get around to reading the comments that aren't just walls of text from a bot. And when I do read them, I really appreciate the support that you give me. It really means a lot. And it really makes me realize that this channel, what I'm offering to all of you is, it's what I'm supposed to be doing. It's my true will. And you've all helped me with your ongoing support. So thank you again. And I love all of you. I would like to plan for 2026, but I don't feel like I can yet. I have seen a lot of things destroyed this year. A lot of things which defined the old me, things that I took for granted as ways that I could define myself, things that I could identify with, have been completely shattered and taken away from my path. And maybe I'll get some of that back, maybe not, but at the moment I'm left with nothing concrete to guide me in terms of what to look forward to, what to plan for, how to situate myself as I return to the Sephiroth below the abyss and have to find a place there in the great cosmic drama. Yeah, and I probably won't be able to do that until the beginning of next year. Things will really start to lock in and fall into place then, in terms of exactly what I'm meant to be doing. I've got a vague idea, but still incomplete. And at this point in time, anything could happen with my future direction. It's the nature of the initiation I've just gone through, I suppose, that everything is so formless and so ambiguous. But that's fine. I don't mind just resting for a while and recuperating and waiting before the next big reveal comes along from the divine in terms of where my life is supposed to be heading. I'll just enjoy the holiday season. 2025, it was a really weird year, wasn't it? It was a snake year according to the Chinese zodiac, which might explain why so many people, myself included, just feel like the whole year was spent shedding old skin, shedding things, things not working out, coming to the end of things, and that's pretty much the whole year. A very destructive year. Yeah, that's certainly been my experience. But 2026 is a horse year. So that's supposed to be, you know, all systems go, powering on, accelerating into the future, having shed the old, being able to embrace the new. And I really hope that that's the case for next year. And I look forward to next year. It'll be a little surprise, whatever form my future direction takes. I know that I'm supposed to publish the book next year. That is inevitable as far as I'm concerned. And the window of time in which I'll need to do that will fall somewhere between when I reach 35,000 subscribers and the end of September next year. So, you know, that window of time will open then. So the clock is ticking. You know, we're not that far off. I'm, almost at 33,000 subscribers as at the date of filming. So, you know, unless the YouTube algorithm stuffs me around again in some new exciting way, I should reach that threshold very soon. Which means the pressure is on me to really get my act together in doing what I'm meant to do, doing what I was always supposed to do with this channel, doing a preparation for it. So yeah, that's what's coming. There'll be a couple more little spiritual tests that I'll need to pass before that point as well. But things are closer than they've ever been. But I do think that next year is the year when everything will really start to change. Not just for myself, but for the rest of the world. It's just a feeling that I have. And I'm excited to see that year unfold. And I'm excited, to be frank with you, to see the back of 2025. Because although there have been some really amazing things in this year for me, like a lot of family time, moving into a new house that I really like, and, you know, everything that's happened with this channel, the rest of the year has been pretty rubbish. I've been kicked a lot by the world, to be honest. So I'm looking forward to being able to put all of that behind me and move on to something better and more constructive, and actually being able to move forward again, even if it's just in my personal spiritual life. So that's the year in the review, and that is my hopes for the coming year. And thank you once again to all of you for your ongoing support, and I hope that you continue to support me in this next chapter. And there will be more ways for you to support me in really stepping into the fullness of what I'm trying to do with this channel. So I'm very excited, and I hope that you're excited as well. And I hope that you enjoyed this last video of the year. I don't know how many people will watch this because everyone's going to be celebrating Christmas, but if you are watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, subscribe to this channel to support my work. Support me further by hitting join or thanks down below, or buying some merch from my merch store. There'll be a link in the description below to that. And yeah, have a Merry Christmas. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time.